What's up guys, how's it going? Mr. Smart here. Just wanted to teach you guys how to do some distributing numbers with negatives. So before we start, I'm just going to put this right here. I'm going to put a -2 with the x plus 2, just like that. Okay? Now, just a refresher, just in case you don't know, when you multiply, the rules of multiplication, a positive times a positive will always give you a positive. A negative times a negative will always give you a negative. And a positive times a negative will always give you a negative. Wait, I messed up here. That's also a positive. Sorry, brain farts late at night. Okay, if you caught that early, good for you. Okay, now look at these rules right here. Every single time I see a positive, I'm going to highlight it pink. Okay, so this is a positive. This is a positive. That makes a positive. Okay, now the next one right here, we have a negative, but wait, that also makes a positive. That's kind of weird. And right here, I have a positive and a negative, but somehow that makes a negative. Let's talk about why, okay? And this is like what I like to talk about. I kind of think about these as relationships, okay? Two positive people are meant for each other, so they make a positive relationship. Two negative people, even though they're negative, they kind of deserve each other, right? They're positive. Now right here, you get a positive and a negative. Does that make a good relationship? I don't think so, because that means the positive person's always going to be dragged down, right? So that makes a negative relationship. So I think of that as my multiplication rules. Okay, so over here, what kind of 2 is that? That's a -2. You got to look at the symbol in front, okay? So when you look at that symbol in front, you notice that's a -2. Now what kind of x is that? That's a positive right there, and this is also a positive. Okay, and sorry for that bleeding. That's a really it's really not fun to deal with, but I'll fix that in the next video. We won't use that pen anymore. So now when I distribute, here are the rules. Okay, you guys probably know how to do this already, but I always like to draw my little roads to my numbers, so I know how to multiply that to these. Okay, now think about this. This is a -2, and I have a positive x. And I had to remember the rules, right? A negative and a positive right here make a negative. So I have to write a -2x over here. So before I start, I'm going to put that negative symbol down so I know it's a negative, then put 2x. Boom, halfway done. And now look, a negative and a positive again. Same rules as last time, right? Is that going to make a positive or negative? You got to think to yourself. That's going to make a negative. Oh, okay. So that's going to be a negative. So instead of putting a plus sign like right here, you need to put a minus sign this time right here. Because you're trying to make that 2, your answer a negative. So -2 times 2, now just worry about multiplication, is 4. Since that negative symbol is there, it's a -4. Okay? So good job there. And this is the results you get. Okay? So remember your rules of multiplication, and remember that it applies when you distribute. Okay? Now, here's a practice problem for you to try on your own. I won't use that pen again. I learned from my mistake, right? We're going to use this blue pen. So I want you guys to try this one on your own, and pause the video when I'm done writing this. I want you guys to try a -3, and we're going to go x again, but this time we're going to make a -2. Okay? And I want you guys to pause the video, go ahead and just distribute that, and I will check your answer afterwards. Alright, cool. Hopefully you have paused by now. If not, get that problem done. So, right now let's look at this. So I have a -3 right here. I'm going to highlight that, -3. I have a positive x, so I'll put that as purple. Then I have a -2. And why is that a -2? Because you got to look at the symbol in front of the 2. Okay, that makes it a -2, not a +2. So be careful with how you do that, okay, and see that. Now, like I did my last one, let's draw the roads. You got to ask yourself, did you draw your roads? Okay. Now that you draw your roads, remember that -3 is going to multiply to everything it's leading to. So -3 leads to x right here. Now remember your rules. It's a negative and a positive, and that gives you a negative, okay? So make sure you put that negative symbol first, because if you miss that, it can mess up your entire question. It's that go slow and steady to detail, right? So negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Okay? Now a negative times a negative, pause, right? Like two yellows, these are both yellow. It actually makes a positive. So instead of a minus symbol like the one before, you have to put a what here? You got to put a plus symbol. Did you put that plus symbol? If not, you might have some trouble. Nothing to worry about the multiplication now, right? 3 times 2 gives you 6. And so look at the difference from the one on top and the one on the bottom. Okay? So the two yellows make a positive right here. But anytime you get two different ones, like a yellow and a pink, it'll always give you negatives, okay? So just remember those rules when distributing, because I've been seeing that mistake a lot in my class, and I think it's about time that we watch out for that mistake so we don't make them anymore, okay? So thank you for watching this video, and just before you leave, if you want to try one more, let's do this. Let's go 3, but let's go negative x plus 5 this time. Okay, and then you can try that one by pausing it right now. And then I'm just going to do like a little speed run afterwards, okay? Okay, it seems like you've unpaused now, so let's go ahead and do this. So I'm just going to go a little fast here. Hopefully this is how fast you guys go. A 3 times a negative x, so you positive and negative, make a negative 3x. See how I put my symbol down first? Now 3 times a positive 5. How does that add a positive 5? Because look at that plus sign right in front of that 5. Right? That makes it a positive 5. So that's a positive and a positive, like up here. So a positive and a positive make a positive. So I need that plus sign right here. And 3 times 5 is 15. And boom, shakalaka. That is how you do it. Okay? Leave a like and leave any questions that you have down below. And if I ever see it, maybe I might answer it, you know? Thank you guys, appreciate it, and you guys have a good one.